I can't believe the hoax, this sham, this absolute injustice justice system. DA Bragg and the judge should be ashamed of themselves. This isn't just ridiculous. This actually erodes the confidence that Americans have in the justice system.
I just got to Italy. I was traveling here while the Trump verdict came down. And I have to say that when people here ask me what the heck is going on in your country, I am ashamed. If this were happening in another country, and we in the United States heard about a party in power that was using prosecutorial force to bring fake charges against a leading opponent in the middle of an election, we would call that the stuff of a banana republic. And yet now that's us. This is the stuff of how nations decline. Speaking of Italy, this is the kind of thing you would see in the fall of the ancient Roman Empire. Well, now it's happening right in our own homeland. Sometimes you go abroad and you see the way that you're viewed. It reminds you of how much our own nation has rotted at its core. The time for change is now. 2024 is a 1776 moment. I am proud to be an American, but it doesn't feel that way now when the rest of the world looks down upon the kangaroo courts that send our own political leaders to prison. Enough of it. I don't care if you're on the left or right. This is a danger to the future of our country. And I'm asking you to step up this year so we can actually get this right. We have a country to save, and if we don't get this right in the next 7 months, I think it's quite possible we don't have a country left.
Will be 3 years since I became American. This year will be the very first year in my entire life that I will have the opportunity to vote for a president. And this year, I will be voting for a convicted felon. Make America great again.
Yes, I recently saw this video. It is concerning. I show you this anti-Trump attorney here at CNN contributor in fierce argument over Trump convictions. You are a liar. I don't know if you have seen this video. When you go down the article, anti-Trump attorney George called CNN contributor Scott a liar in a heated debate Friday over former President Trump on precedented convictions in New York. Conway was infuriated as Jennings argued that Trump conviction has united the Gulf and will backfire on the Democrat, and he didn't like that. We understand clearly that it is backfiring. What I see on social media, I've never seen this before. It is concerning. Let me show you this video. But before I do, if you have not subscribed to this channel, please endeavor to do that. And it will do you no harm if you share out this video.
On the conservative side of politics today.
Scott Jennings, I think this is for you. Where is that party?
Well, I disagree with a number of things George said, of course. I mean, he's talking about these obvious crimes that were committed. I mean, he's talking about the obvious crimes that were supposedly committed, but that's the core of what a lot of decidedly non-MAGA Republicans are mad about, is that there is no underlying crime. I looked at the statement from Maine Senator Susan Collins, who I think encapsulated it perfectly. She said this was a partisan prosecutor who promised to get Trump. Nonsense. And that's what he did, not promise to go after the law, but he promised to go after Donald Trump. And so the issue is here, what is the crime? He's never been indicted for or convicted of the campaign finance theory at the core of this case. And so Republicans are wondering today, you know, what do you have to do to build a defense against something you've never been convicted of in the first place? I'll tell you, the mood in the party, if you're sort of looking for a generalized attitude, reminds me a little bit about the Kavanaugh period. You can go back to the Brett Kavanaugh hearings, 2018. I remember that period being the MAGA people were mad, the non-MAGA, the anti-Trump, the pro-Trump. Every wing of the party was vibratingly angry about what was being done to Kavanaugh. I feel and sense that the same thing is happening today, which is why I think you're probably going to see this backfire politically on the Democrats, and they're going to regret it.
I mean, George, I will say I have heard from some people who really don't want to see Trump get elected in the Republican Party who are concerned that this particular case is just going to drive additional enthusiasm for the former president. I'm interested in you respond to that, and you got your face in your hands. What do you got to say to Scott?
I have to say, I mean, look, Scott's lying, and that's the problem with the Republicans.
You can clearly see his reactions, how he's feeling uncomfortable because he's speaking the truth. CNN contributors always hate when people tell the truth. This man is speaking just what a lot of people are saying on social media. Like, this is backfiring. When you look at this lawyer, according to him, what he's saying doesn't make sense, which to me is insane.
You know, Scott's lying, and that's the problem with the Republican Party. It is continually addicted to lies.
Wait a minute. What am I lying
You're
about?
lying. You're lying, Scott. You're lying about the law. You're lying about what the jury was charged to find. They don't have to find an underlying crime. They had to find the intent to cover up an underlying crime. And the underlying crime was pretty obvious.
What was the crime?
You ran for public office, Scott. You ran for public office, Scott. You know you can't take money from somebody and reimburse them if it's a campaign expense.
I've
You know
never
that
run for
damn
public
well.
office.
And okay, fine. Well, you're close enough. You're involved in politics to know that. Okay, so that's the problem with the Republican Party, is that they are suffused with lies. I don't know why this network is paying Scott to say those lies.
Whoa,
on his
okay,
morning
let's
show.
not go there,
ridiculous.
George. Please, let's not go
No,
there.
we
Okay?
should go there.
Scott is our colleague, and we're going to treat him respectfully as such. Continue.
Well, you shouldn't lie.
Here's my question: If it is an obvious crime, why did the Department of Justice and the Federal Election Commission take a pass on it?
Well, the Federal
They
Election
should have
Commission-
prosecuted. It should have been prosecuted on January 21.
Yes, when you take a look at recent posts released by Daily Mail, you can clearly see Trump is high up there by 6 points after this verdict. Now, according to Axios, what post says about Trump convictions and the 2024 presidential race, former President Trump's historic felony conviction make her for Republicans even more likely to vote for him, according to a poll in the verdict's immediate aftermath. Why it matters in what is gearing up to a tight race to the White House between Trump and Biden, even small shift in support could prove decisive. The big picture, you can clearly see what is going on here. A lot of these Democrats thought this would not have any effect. When you see this man calling this contributor like you are a liar for simply speaking facts, that is what is happening. Okay, just within the space of 24 hours, we have seen how Trump is rising the polls 6 points ahead. So you will see exactly what is going on. So I don't understand why when they call him out, like this will backfire is a problem. When you take a look at this article, the results were even more stark along partisan lines, with 50% of Republicans saying they are more likely to vote for Trump. Meanwhile, 44% of Democrats say they are now even less likely to vote for him. And ABC News, released earlier this month, found that 80% of Trump supporters said they will continue to support him even if he was convicted. Another 16% said they reconsider their support, but only 4% said they no longer support him. So when you take a look at even the amount of money Trump raised within the space of 8 hours, I think that is the highest fundraiser I've seen. About 35 million within the space of this. So you will see exactly, just small donors, giving in $100, $5, $2 can mount up to this. A lot of people have changed their mind. So any person telling me otherwise is insane. The person needs to rethink.
And they're willing to sell themselves cheap